Have you ever found yourself questioning why he walked away? Do you feel like you've lost the spark that once drew him to you? Here's the good news: you hold the power to reignite his desire and make him start chasing you again. The key isn't found in chasing after him, pleading, or losing yourself to win his attention. Instead, the answer lies in a transformative journey that focuses on you, your growth, confidence, and authenticity. We often fall into the trap of thinking that we need to prove our worth to someone who left. It's a common misconception that you need to change yourself for them. But what if I told you the real solution lies in embracing who you truly are? In this video, we're diving into 8 powerful steps you can take, actions that not only bring him back but elevate your self-worth and magnetism in the process. These steps aren't about quick fixes or surface-level strategies. They're rooted in authentic, lasting change. They align with the principles of Stoic dating and Stoicism, emphasizing emotional resilience and personal growth. Imagine a version of yourself that is confident, radiant, and unapologetically authentic, a version that naturally draws him in without even trying. Sounds intriguing, right? Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll not only understand how to get him chasing you again, but also why this journey is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. Now, let's start with the first transformative step. Stop chasing him and start letting go. 1. Stop chasing and start letting go. Let's be honest, when he left, you probably felt the urge to chase him, to prove your worth, or to fix whatever went wrong. But here's the truth. Chasing him will only push him further away. Why? Because desperation repels, while self-assurance attracts. When you stop chasing and start letting go, you send a powerful message. You value yourself too much to cling to someone who isn't ready to meet you where you are. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring or that you've given up on love. It means you're choosing yourself. Ask yourself, do I want him back for the right reasons, or am I simply afraid of losing him? By shifting your focus away from him and back to yourself, you create space for something magical to happen. He begins to notice your absence and, more importantly, your growth. Think of it like this. When you're too available, he takes your presence for granted. But when you pull back and invest that energy into your own life, you become a mystery again. And men are drawn to mystery. It's human nature to desire what feels just out of reach. How do you let go? Start by redefining what letting go means to you. It doesn't mean cutting him off completely unless that's what you need for your peace of mind. Instead, it's about detaching from the outcome. You stop clinging to the idea of reconciliation and focus on building the best version of yourself. It's an act of trust, trusting that if he's meant to be in your life, he will find his way back. Here's a challenge for you. Take all the energy you've been pouring into him and channel it into yourself. What would happen if you spent that time pursuing your passions, setting new goals, or deepening your friendships? Not only will this make you feel more fulfilled, but it will also elevate your attractiveness in his eyes. Men are drawn to women who are thriving on their own terms. When you're chasing your dreams instead of chasing him, you embody the essence of Stoic dating, a mindset that prioritizes self-control, emotional stability, and personal growth. This aligns perfectly with Stoicism, which teaches us to focus on what we can control, ourselves. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I stopped obsessing over him and started loving myself instead? Picture the freedom, confidence, and joy that come with putting yourself first. This shift in mindset is magnetic. It doesn't just catch his attention, it compels him to chase you because he sees a version of you that is vibrant, self-assured, and irresistible. And here's the kicker. When you let go, you're no longer acting from a place of fear or lack. You're coming from a place of abundance. You're saying to the universe, I know my worth and I refuse to settle for less. That energy is what draws him, or someone even better, back to you. But this isn't just about getting him back. It's about regaining your power. It's about stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't need validation from anyone else. It's about falling in love with your own life so deeply that anyone who wants to be part of it has to rise to meet your standards. So, let me ask you, are you ready to let go? Are you ready to stop chasing and start becoming the kind of woman who doesn't just attract attention but commands respect and admiration? Because the moment you decide to prioritize yourself, everything changes. And trust me, you will notice. If this resonates with you, stay tuned, because in the next section, we're diving into how to build unshakable confidence by stepping out of your comfort zone. You won't want to miss it. 2. Focus on building confidence through challenges. Confidence. We hear that word so often, but what does it truly mean? Confidence isn't just about how you look or the way you carry yourself. It's about how you feel about yourself deep down. It's about knowing your worth, embracing your power, and refusing to let fear dictate your life. And here's the exciting part. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. So, how do you build it? You confront the things that scare you. You step out of your comfort zone, face challenges head on, and embrace discomfort as a stepping stone to growth. Why is this important? Because when you show courage and resilience, you not only transform how you see yourself, you transform how others see you. And yes, that includes him. Let's start with a question. What scares you the most right now? Is it the idea of being alone? Taking risks? Trying something new? Whatever it is, it's time to tackle it. Confidence isn't built by staying safe and doing what's easy. It's built by proving to yourself, time and time again, that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Imagine this. You've always wanted to try public speaking, but the thought of standing in front of a crowd makes your heart race. Instead of avoiding it, you decide to take a class or speak in a small group. It's terrifying at first, but as you push through the fear, something incredible happens. You grow. Each time you step up, your fear diminishes and your confidence expands. Now, apply this to your personal life. Maybe you've been holding back from setting boundaries with others, afraid of how they'll react. Or perhaps you've avoided exploring new hobbies because you don't think you're good enough. What would happen if you took that leap? Each step you take outside your comfort zone is a message to yourself. I am strong. I am capable. I am worthy. Here's the truth. Men are drawn to women who radiate confidence. When you're secure in yourself, you don't need to chase anyone because your energy speaks for itself. This is the essence of Stoic dating, embracing emotional resilience and showing up as your most empowered self. It's also deeply rooted in Stoicism, which teaches us to confront fear and accept challenges as opportunities for growth. Think about it this way. When you shy away from challenges, you shrink, but when you face them, you expand. And when you expand, you don't just become more attractive, you become unstoppable. Isn't that the kind of energy you want to carry into every part of your life? Here's a practical exercise for you. Make a list of 3 things you've been avoiding because they scare you. It could be as simple as speaking your mind in a conversation or as bold as trying a completely new career path. Pick one and take action this week. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. With every step forward, you're proving to yourself that fear doesn't control you. And let's not forget the ripple effect this has on him. When a man sees you taking risks, growing, and thriving, it challenges him to step up too. It's no longer about you trying to impress him. It's about him realizing he has to work to deserve a place in your life. That's the power of a confident woman. But let's keep it real, building confidence isn't always easy. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and even failure. And that's okay. The goal isn't to be fearless. It's to be brave enough to act despite the fear. Because every time you do, you're sending a message to the world. I am here, I am strong, and I am worthy of everything I desire. Now, let me ask you, are you ready to take that step? What challenge will you tackle first? Share it in the comments. Let's inspire each other to grow. And if this message resonates with you, show some love. Like this video and comment number 1 if you're feeling inspired. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on more transformative tips that help you become the best version of yourself. Because confidence isn't just about getting him to chase you. It's about reclaiming your power, rewriting your story, and stepping into the life you've always dreamed of. The kind of life that doesn't just attract him back, it makes you the one who decides who's worthy of being part of it. If you're ready to keep growing, stay tuned for the next step. We're diving into how to redefine rejection and turn it into one of your greatest tools for self-empowerment. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. 3. Redefine rejection and value yourself. Rejection. It's a word that carries so much weight, doesn't it? The sting of someone walking away or ignoring your worth can feel overwhelming. It's easy to internalize it, to ask, what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? But let me share a powerful secret with you. Rejection isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of what someone else is capable of recognizing or not recognizing in that moment. And here's where the transformation begins. When you redefine rejection, you take its power away. Ask yourself this: why does rejection hurt so much? Is it because you truly believe their opinion defines you? Or is it because you've been taught to see rejection as failure? The reality is, rejection is neither. It's simply redirection. It's the universe saying, this path isn't for you right now. There's something better ahead. The moment you see it that way, it becomes less about loss and more about growth. Let's dig deeper. When someone rejects you, it's often not about you at all. It's about where they are in their journey, their fears, their limitations. They might not be capable of seeing your value because they're blinded by their own insecurities. Or perhaps they're not ready for what you bring to the table. Does that make your worth any less? Of course not. It's like a priceless painting that someone walks past because they don't understand art. The value of the painting doesn't change just because it wasn't appreciated in that moment. But here's where the real magic happens. When you stop seeing rejection as personal and start viewing it as an opportunity, you begin to reclaim your power. Instead of asking, why wasn't I enough for them? You start asking, were they enough for me? Did they truly see me, value me, respect me? These questions shift the focus back to where it belongs, on you. This mindset aligns beautifully with Stoic Dating and Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us to control what we can and let go of what we can't. You can't control whether someone appreciates your worth, but you can control how you react to it. You can choose to use rejection as fuel for self-discovery and growth rather than letting it define you. Let's talk about how to turn this shift into action. When someone walks away or doesn't choose you, instead of spiraling into self-doubt, take it as a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How did this experience help me grow? What qualities am I looking for that this person didn't offer? By reframing the experience, you transform it from something painful into something powerful. Here's a practical exercise for you. The next time you face rejection, whether it's in love, work, or life, write down 3 things you've learned from the experience. Then write down 3 things you love about yourself that no one can take away, no matter what happens. This small act of self-affirmation can shift your perspective and remind you of your inherent value. When you value yourself, rejection becomes less about what you're losing and more about what you're making space for. Imagine this: you're no longer clinging to people who don't see your worth. Instead, you're opening the door for someone who does. Someone who isn't intimidated by your brilliance but inspired by it. Doesn't that sound freeing? And let's be clear, valuing yourself doesn't mean arrogance or dismissing others. It's about setting a standard for how you deserve to be treated. It's about saying, I am worth love, respect, and effort. If someone can't give me that, they're not my person. This clarity not only protects your heart, but also radiates an energy that draws the right people to you. Think about the man you want to attract. Do you want him to see you as someone who needs his validation, or as someone who knows her worth and chooses her relationships carefully? The latter is far more compelling, isn't it? When you redefine rejection and value yourself, you embody that energy naturally. He won't just notice you, he'll admire you. So the next time you find yourself facing rejection, remember this: it's not the end of your story. It's a chapter that's guiding you towards something better. And when you approach it with strength and self-assurance, you turn what once felt like a loss into one of your greatest victories. Because rejection isn't about being not enough, it's about realizing you've always been more than enough. And when you step into that truth, the world can't help but take notice, including him, especially him. 4. Use your time wisely. time. It's the one resource we all share equally, yet it's often spent carelessly. Think about it. How much of your time have you given away to worry, regret, or chasing someone who isn't reciprocating your energy? When you begin to see time as the most valuable currency in your life, everything changes. You start investing it wisely on yourself, your goals, and your happiness, and the ripple effects are extraordinary. Now let's ask the big question. How have you been spending your time lately? Have you been replaying conversations, analyzing his actions, or waiting for his attention? If so, you're not alone. It's a natural reaction when someone you care about pulls away. But here's the hard truth. Every moment spent dwelling on him is a moment taken from your growth, your joy, and your future. It's time to reclaim that energy. Men, like everyone else, are drawn to people who are thriving. When you fill your time with things that bring you fulfillment, whether it's pursuing a passion, cultivating friendships, or even learning something new, you create a magnetic energy that others, including him, can't help but notice. This is the essence of Stoic dating, focusing on what you can control, your time and actions, rather than what you can't, his feelings or choices. Stoicism reinforces this by reminding us to live intentionally, making the most of every moment. So how do you begin using your time wisely? It starts with a shift in priorities. Imagine for a moment that your time is a limited budget. Would you spend it on things that drain you, or on things that enrich you? When you think of time this way, the answer becomes clear. You invest it in what matters most. And here's a secret. When you stop spending your time on him and start spending it on yourself, the dynamic shifts. He begins to wonder where your attention has gone, and the curiosity alone is enough to spark his interest. Let's explore what this might look like. Instead of scrolling through his social media or waiting for a text, you use that time to dive into something meaningful. Maybe it's joining a fitness class you've always been curious about. Maybe it's dedicating an hour to journaling or planning your goals. Or perhaps it's reconnecting with a passion you've neglected. Whatever it is, the point is to choose activities that enrich your life, rather than leaving you in limbo. Here's another way to think about it. What would happen if you treated your time like a gift? Imagine giving yourself the same care and attention you once poured into him. Instead of wondering what he's doing or thinking, you're creating a life so full and exciting that he won't be able to ignore it. Not because you're trying to get his attention, but because you're genuinely thriving. That's the power of intentional living. And let's not forget the impact this has on your own sense of fulfillment. When you start prioritizing your time, you realize just how much you can accomplish. The goals you've been putting off suddenly feel achievable. The hobbies you've been curious about come to life. Even your relationships deepen as you invest quality time in the people who truly matter. But this isn't just about productivity. It's also about learning to savor the present moment. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate what we have now, rather than longing for what we can't control. When you embrace this mindset, you stop worrying about the what-ifs and start living fully. And when you live fully, you become magnetic. People, including him, are drawn to the energy of someone who is at peace with themselves and their life. There's also a subtle but powerful shift that happens when you prioritize your time. You raise your standards. When you value your time, you stop wasting it on people who don't. You become more discerning about who you let into your life, and that in itself makes you irresistible. It's a simple but profound truth. When you respect your time, others will too. So let me ask you, what are you doing today that will bring you closer to the life you want? If the answer is not much, that's okay. Now is the perfect time to start. Whether it's as small as reading a book that inspires you or as bold as planning a solo trip, every choice you make to use your time wisely brings you closer to the best version of yourself. And here's the irony. When you stop making him the center of your time, you might just find that he starts making you the center of his. Why? Because people are naturally drawn to those who value themselves enough to live fully, boldly, and unapologetically. Using your time wisely isn't just about attracting him back. It's about creating a life so fulfilling that even if he doesn't return, you're still thriving. And isn't that the ultimate goal? To live a life that's rich, meaningful, and entirely your own? That's the kind of life that turns heads, captures hearts, and commands respect, including his. 5. Cultivate self-love and embrace your authenticity. Have you ever wondered why we're often our own harshest critics? Why we easily forgive others but struggle to extend the same grace to ourselves? Self-love isn't about being perfect or selfish. It's about recognizing that you're enough just as you are. And here's the truth. When you cultivate self-love and embrace your authenticity, you step into a power so undeniable, so magnetic, that people, including him, can't help but be drawn to you. Let's start by asking this simple yet profound question. When was the last time you genuinely loved yourself? Not in a superficial way like buying yourself a treat after a hard day, but in a deep, soulful way. The kind of love that says, I am proud of who I am. I celebrate my strengths and accept my flaws. If it's been a while, don't worry, you're not alone. Most of us were never taught how to love ourselves, but today that changes. Self-love begins with self-awareness. It's about knowing who you are, your values, your dreams, your quirks, and embracing all of it. So think about the people you admire most. What makes them so captivating? Chances are it's their authenticity. They're not trying to be anyone else. They're fully themselves, flaws and all. And that's what makes them unforgettable. Now imagine bringing that energy into your own life. Imagine letting go of the pressure to fit into someone else's idea of perfection and instead leaning into who you truly are. What would that look like? How would it feel to wake up each day and know that you're enough, exactly as you are? That's the magic of self-love. It liberates you from the need for external validation. But let's keep it real. Self-love isn't always easy. It means doing the hard work of facing your insecurities, healing old wounds, and letting go of self-doubt. It means looking in the mirror and saying, I choose to love myself today, even when it's hard. And here's the beautiful part. The more you practice self-love, the more natural it becomes. Over time, it shifts from something you do to something you are. And let me tell you, men are irresistibly drawn to a woman who loves herself. When you're comfortable in your own skin, it shows in everything you do, in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and even the way you smile. It's a quiet confidence that says, I know my worth and I won't settle for less. That's the energy of someone who doesn't chase but is chased. Here's an exercise to help you get started. Every day for the next week, write down one thing you love about yourself. It could be something big like your resilience or something small like the way you laugh. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to focus on your strengths rather than your perceived flaws. It's a simple yet powerful way to build self-love. And let's talk about authenticity. So often we feel the need to hide parts of ourselves to be accepted. But the truth is, the right person will love you because of your quirks, not in spite of them. When you're unapologetically yourself, you give others permission to do the same. It's an act of courage and an invitation to deeper connection. This aligns beautifully with Stoic Dating and Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our internal values rather than external appearances. It reminds us that true confidence comes from within, not from seeking approval. When you embrace this mindset, you stop chasing perfection and start living authentically. And here's the secret. When you cultivate self-love, you not only attract him back, you attract a version of him who's willing to rise to your level. Because when you love yourself, you set the standard for how others should treat you. And trust me, he'll notice. Now, let's bring it back to you. What's one thing you can do today to show yourself love? Maybe it's setting a boundary with someone who's draining your energy. Maybe it's taking a day off to rest and recharge. Or maybe it's simply looking in the mirror and saying, I am enough. Whatever it is, take that step. You deserve it. And if this message resonates with you, let me know. Like this video and comment number 1 if you're ready to embrace your authenticity. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to elevate your life, attract love, and step into your full power. This journey is just getting started, and I can't wait to see the incredible transformation that awaits you. Stay tuned for the next step, where we'll explore how to recognize the power of genuine partnerships and set the standard for the love you deserve. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. 6. Recognize the power of genuine partnerships. Let's take a moment to talk about love, not the fleeting kind, but but the kind that fills your life with purpose, joy, and mutual respect. The kind of partnership that doesn't just elevate your heart, but strengthens your soul. This is the kind of connection you deserve. Yet, how often do we settle for less? How often do we let someone occupy our lives because we fear being alone even when they're not meeting us halfway? Here's the truth. A genuine partnership is built on mutual effort, shared values, and deep respect. Anything less isn't love, it's settling. If you want him to pursue you, it's time to raise your standards and recognize the power of authentic love. Because when you know what you deserve, you stop accepting crumbs and start demanding the feast. Think about your ideal relationship. Is it one where you're constantly guessing how he feels? Or one where his actions speak louder than words, where he shows time and again that you matter? A genuine partner cherishes your presence, values your time, and makes an effort to show you love consistently. This isn't a fantasy, it's the bare minimum you should expect. But let's get personal for a moment. Have you been settling? Have you allowed someone to treat you as an option rather than a priority? If the answer is yes, it's time to pause and ask yourself why. Often, the fear of losing someone makes us cling to relationships that aren't serving us. But here's the thing, holding on to the wrong person only blocks the right one from entering your life. And here's where the power of genuine partnerships comes in. When you set a standard for how you want to be treated, you create a filter that naturally weeds out those who aren't worthy of your time. You stop wasting energy on relationships that drain you and start opening yourself up to the love you truly deserve. Let's break this down. A genuine partner doesn't just say they care, they show it. They respect your boundaries, listen to your needs, and make an effort to contribute to the relationship. They're not afraid to fight for you because they understand your value. And most importantly, they see you as an equal, not an accessory. But how do you attract this kind of partnership? It starts with becoming the kind of person you want to be with. If you want a partner who's kind, driven, and respectful, you must cultivate those qualities within yourself. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about aligning your actions with your values and showing up authentically. This concept aligns beautifully with Stoicism and Stoic Dating. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, our values, and our responses to life's challenges. When you embody these principles in your relationships, you naturally attract people who value the same things. And that's the foundation of a genuine partnership, shared principles and mutual growth. Here's a practical step. Make a list of the qualities you want in a partner. Be specific: kindness, ambition, emotional maturity, whatever matters most to you. Then reflect on whether you're embodying those qualities yourself. If there's a gap, use this as an opportunity for growth. Not only will this make you more aligned with your ideal partner, but it will also boost your self-confidence and sense of purpose. Now, let's address something important. Recognizing the power of genuine partnerships doesn't mean waiting for someone else to complete you. It means understanding that you're already whole and that a partner is there to complement your journey, not define it. When you approach relationships from this perspective, you radiate a sense of confidence and independence that's incredibly attractive. And here's the irony. The moment you stop settling and start demanding more, he will notice. People can sense when you've raised your standards. It challenges them to step up or step aside. And for the right person, it's a wake-up call. It shows them that you're not someone to take lightly, you're someone worth pursuing, respecting, and cherishing. So let me ask you, what are you willing to let go of to make space for the partnership you truly deserve? It might be a relationship that no longer serves you, or even just a mindset that keeps you stuck. Whatever it is, releasing it is the first step toward creating the love you've always wanted. When you recognize the power of genuine partnerships, you stop chasing and start choosing. You choose yourself, your standards, and your happiness, and in doing so, you become the kind of person who doesn't just attract love, you inspire it. Because true love isn't about settling. It's about finding someone who sees your light and chooses to shine alongside you. And when you recognize this, you unlock a new level of connection, joy, and fulfillment that transforms not just your relationship, but your entire life, including the way he sees you. 7. Transform pain into growth. Pain is something we all try to avoid, yet it finds its way into our lives no matter how hard we resist. Especially in relationships, pain from rejection, heartbreak, or disappointment can feel unbearable. But what if I told you that pain isn't the enemy? What if instead of running from it, you leaned into it and allowed it to shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient? When you embrace the lessons pain has to offer, you transform it from something that holds you back into something that propels you forward. Let's begin with a question. What's a painful experience in your life that you haven't fully healed from? It might be the time he walked away, a moment when you felt rejected, or even an internal struggle you've been carrying for years. Whatever it is, it's time to confront it. Not to dwell on it, but to understand it, learn from it, and grow because of it. Pain is a natural part of life, but it's also one of our greatest teachers. Think about the most significant moments of growth in your life. Chances are they didn't come from smooth sailing, they came from storms. Heartbreak taught you what you value and love. Failure showed you your resilience. Loss reminded you of what truly matters. Pain, when embraced, becomes the catalyst for transformation. So, how do you turn pain into growth? It starts with acceptance. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. When it comes to pain, you can't always control its arrival, but you can control how you respond to it. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" shift the question to, "What can I learn from this?" This simple change in perspective is powerful. It takes you from a place of victimhood to one of empowerment. Let's use heartbreak as an example. When someone leaves, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-blame or bitterness. But what if, instead, you asked yourself, what does this experience teach me about my boundaries, my needs, or my worth? Maybe it's a reminder to prioritize yourself in relationships or to walk away when someone isn't meeting you halfway. These lessons aren't easy, but they're invaluable. Here's another perspective. Pain is temporary, but the growth it brings is permanent. Imagine a wound. It might hurt in the moment, but as it heals, it leaves a scar. That scar is a testament to your strength, a reminder of what you've endured and overcome. Emotional pain works the same way. It may leave a mark, but it also leaves wisdom, resilience, and a deeper understanding of yourself. Think about how this applies to him. When he sees you thriving despite the pain, it sends a powerful message. It shows him that you're not defined by heartbreak, you're defined by how you rise from it. This is the essence of Stoic dating, showing strength, grace, and emotional resilience in the face of challenges. It's not about pretending the pain doesn't exist, it's about refusing to let it control you. Here's a practical exercise for transforming pain into growth. Write a letter to the person or situation that caused you pain. Be honest, pour out your feelings, frustrations, and even anger. But here's the twist. End the letter with gratitude. Thank the person or experience for the lessons it taught you. This act of gratitude doesn't excuse their behavior, but it frees you from the weight of resentment. And when you're free, you're unstoppable. Another way to embrace growth is by sharing your story. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. When you open up about your journey, whether with a trusted friend, therapist, or even in a journal, you begin to see your pain from a new perspective. You recognize how far you've come and how much stronger you've become because of it. And here's something incredible. Growth doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you more magnetic. People are drawn to those who've turned their struggles into wisdom. When he sees you thriving, growing, and shining, it challenges him to reflect on his own life. It makes him wonder, how did she turn pain into power? How can I be part of her life again? But this isn't just about him, it's about you. Transforming pain into growth is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. It's about proving to yourself that you're more than your struggles, that you have the strength to overcome, the courage to heal, and the wisdom to grow. So let me ask you, what's one step you can take today to embrace growth? Maybe it's seeking closure, setting a boundary, or even just allowing yourself to feel without judgment. Whatever it is, take that step, because every small act of growth brings you closer to the best version of yourself. And if this resonates with you, let me know. Like this video and comment number 1 if you're ready to transform your pain into power. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and strategies to help you grow, heal, and thrive. Your journey isn't just inspiring, it's unstoppable. In the next section, we'll explore how your mindset, the most powerful tool you have, can shape your relationships, your happiness, and your future. Stay tuned because the best is yet to come. 8. Maintain a positive and empowering mindset. Your mindset, it's the one thing you have control over no matter what life throws your way. It's also the most potent force you have in shaping not only your reality but also how others perceive you. When it comes to love and relationships, your mindset can mean the difference between feeling powerless and stepping into your full potential. If you want him to start chasing you again, or simply elevate your life to new heights, it all begins with how you think. Let's start with a simple but profound truth. Your thoughts shape your experiences. What you focus on grows. If you dwell on the negatives, why he left, what went wrong, or how you feel incomplete without him, you create a cycle of self-doubt and despair. But if you shift your focus to growth, gratitude, and empowerment, you begin to see possibilities where there were once only obstacles. And let me tell you, that shift is magnetic. So how do you cultivate a positive and empowering mindset? It begins with awareness. Take a moment to observe your inner dialogue. Are your thoughts kind and supportive, or are they filled with criticism and fear? If you find yourself stuck in negative patterns, don't beat yourself up. That awareness is the first step toward change. One of the most effective ways to reframe your mindset is through gratitude. Yes, even in the face of heartbreak or disappointment. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the pain, it's about acknowledging what's still good in your life. It could be as simple as appreciating the friends who support you, the lessons you've learned, or even the strength you've found within yourself. When you focus on what you have, rather than what you lack, you naturally elevate your energy. Now, let's talk about the impact of a positive mindset on your relationships. Imagine walking into a room with someone who's constantly complaining or focused on what's wrong. The energy feels heavy, doesn't it? Now picture someone who radiates positivity, resilience, and optimism. Their presence is uplifting. This is the energy you create when you maintain a positive mindset. It doesn't just make you feel better, it draws others to you, including him. Here's where Stoicism comes into play. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control external events, we can control how we respond to them. This principle is transformative in relationships. When you approach challenges with calmness and perspective, you show emotional resilience, a trait that's incredibly attractive. It demonstrates that you're not easily shaken, that you're grounded in your values, and that you know how to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. Let's say you're in a situation where he's distant or non-committal. Instead of panicking or overanalyzing, a positive and empowering mindset allows you to step back and evaluate. Is this behavior aligned with the kind of relationship I want? Am I investing my energy wisely? This perspective not only protects your peace but also sends a powerful message. You're someone who won't settle for less than you deserve. But maintaining a positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or pretending everything's fine when it isn't. It means allowing yourself to feel, whether it's sadness, anger, or frustration, without letting those emotions control you. It's about processing your feelings, learning from them, and then choosing to move forward with strength and clarity. A practical way to reinforce this mindset is through affirmations. These aren't just feel-good phrases, they're tools for rewiring your brain. Try repeating affirmations like, I am worthy of love and respect. I choose growth over fear. I am in control of my happiness. Say them daily, even if they don't feel true at first. Over time, they'll become part of your belief system, and your actions will naturally align with these truths. Another powerful tool for cultivating a positive mindset is visualization. Picture the life you want to create, the kind of relationship, career, and happiness you desire. See yourself as the confident, radiant person who has already achieved it. Visualization doesn't just inspire you, it activates your brain's reticular activating system, helping you notice opportunities that align with your vision. And here's the beauty of an empowering mindset. it changes how others perceive you. When you carry yourself with positivity and self-assurance, people can't help but be drawn to your energy. This is particularly impactful in the context of Stoic dating, where emotional resilience and self-control are key. Instead of chasing him or seeking validation, you become the kind of person he wants to pursue. Let's consider the long-term impact of this mindset. When you cultivate positivity and empowerment, you're not just preparing for love, you're preparing for life. Challenges will always arise, but with the right mindset, you'll navigate them with strength and grace. This doesn't just make you more attractive to others, it makes you unstoppable. Now, reflect for a moment. What would your life look like if you fully embraced a positive and empowering mindset? Imagine the freedom of letting go of self-doubt, the joy of focusing on what's good, and the confidence of knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. That's the kind of energy that doesn't just turn heads, it transforms lives. And here's the best part. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen with consistent effort. Each day you have the choice to focus on growth rather than fear, on gratitude rather than lack. Each choice, no matter how small, moves you closer to the life and love you deserve. Because ultimately, your mindset is your superpower. It's the foundation for how you experience the world, how you handle relationships, and how you rise after setbacks. And when you master it, you don't just attract him, you attract a life filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. So take this moment to decide, will I let my thoughts control me, or will I take control of my thoughts? The answer to that question can change everything, starting right now. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've explored together. You've learned how to stop chasing and start letting go, to build unshakable confidence by facing challenges, and to redefine rejection as an opportunity for growth. You've discovered the power of investing your time wisely, cultivating self-love, and recognizing what genuine partnerships look like. You've even embraced the idea of transforming pain into a source of strength, and adopting a mindset so empowering that it reshapes not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. This isn't just a strategy to get him to chase you again. It's a blueprint for creating a life that fulfills you, uplifts you, and reflects your true worth. And here's the most exciting part. When you prioritize yourself and your growth, you don't just attract him back. You become someone who inspires admiration and respect from everyone around you. Remember, love isn't about chasing or convincing someone to see your worth. It's about embodying your value so fully that others can't help but recognize it. It's about creating a life so radiant and fulfilling that the right person is compelled to be part of it, not because you begged or pleaded, but because your energy is undeniable. Let me leave you with this thought. You are the most important relationship you'll ever have. Every step you take towards self-love, growth, and empowerment strengthens that relationship. And when you love yourself deeply, you set the standard for how others will love you. So let me ask you, what's the first step you'll take today to embrace your power and rewrite your story? Whether it's setting a boundary, taking on a challenge, or simply shifting your mindset, every action counts. This is your time to rise, to thrive, and to become the version of yourself that you've always been capable of being. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found these insights helpful, remember to come back whenever you need a boost of inspiration. Your transformation has just begun, and I can't wait to see where it takes you. Here's to your growth, your power, and the incredible love that's waiting for you. You've got this.